Now we're going to continue briefly with Tennyson. We've gone through an awful lot of Tennyson, but the last thing we'll do, we'll mention the long and very strange and interesting poem, The Lady of Shalott. That, of course, is one of my favorites, and I studied that a great deal, and I have many articles on it in this section of things I have from Princeton University. But what I did particularly with that poem was to figure out a way to set it to music, because the way it's written, it's a musical poem in the sense that it tends to repeat certain lines or certain words or certain phrases so you feel a rhythm to it, just like music. And other places are high in emotional level, other places are low in emotional level. So there are ways to do that which will give you an idea of how exactly this kind of thing can present itself in that way. So what I did with this particular poem uh, is to take the poem and write it out like this so you can see. That's the actual poem there. But then what I did on the right-hand side was to put what I might do with music. Um, so I say where there's nothing going on but just reading it. So you'll see I have the word silent right there. Then I have down below where it says only reapers reaping early in among the barbed barley hear a song that echoes cheerily from the river winding clearly down in toward Camelot, and by the moon the reapers weary, piling sheaves upon airy, listen to whispers, it is a fairy lady of Shalott. So right in that section where it says, I hear a song, I put song there, that should be sung, and then where it says the mystery, listening to it, I put whispers. So that part would be whispered and not sung. And then there's another section where I say it's whispered. And in other places, I have silent and then music of however type we want, and then music, and then said. Came two young lovers, lately wed. I am half sick of shadows, said the Lady of Shalott. So we will have that spoken out as said. And then part two, sang, rang, still, etc. So we'll have bells ringing during that time instead of music. When it says something like that, the bridge bells rang merrily as the road down to Camelot, and from the blazoned bardic slung a mighty silver bungle hung, and as the road his armor rung beside remote Shamalot. So we'll have things ringing there, and so on. So I go through all of this with all of these things. For example, in this section, I have quite a few things in this section here. This is part 4 of the actual poem. And as you can see on this side here, we have many things that can be done to make this poem come alive so it's not just read. It can be sung, it can be belled, it can be spoken, it can be whispered, it can do many things. So this is what I did with my favorite poem, The Lady of Shalott. If you have anything by Emerson, I suggest you read it, and also look for files that explain it, because there are many opinions about it and many opinions that are very worth reading. We hope you've enjoyed all of these videos on my Princeton University study of Alfred Lloyd Tennyson.